Chapter 2. Thinking. The Tower Doctrine. Most people live in towers they didn't even build. They wake up inside someone else's blueprint. A job tower, a belief tower, a trend tower. Thinking it's their home when it's just rented space in someone else's design. They decorate it, maintain it, protect it, but never question. Was this even my tower to begin with? The three states of thought. Artist, admin, architect. Every mind operates like a tower. You're either creating one like an artist, maintaining one like an admin, or designing one like an architect. But the tragedy is, most people never know which mode they're in. The artist, the eternal construction site. You live in imagination. You sketch endlessly. You start everything, finish nothing. Every day feels like discovery, but nothing truly stands. You lay 1,000 foundations, but no tower reaches the sky. You think you're evolving, but you're just collecting drafts. Your life becomes a museum of unfinished blueprints. No real growth, just a Play-Doh playground. Movement without a rival. Escape plan. Stop painting new towers. Finish one. Kill 90% of your ideas. Keep the one that breathes. Let it stand long enough for wind to test it. Perfection is just fear with a paintbrush. The admin, the tower manager. You're reliable, structured, efficient. You maintain the tower with precision. Every floor, spotless. Every routine, rehearsed. But ask yourself, is it even your tower? You've mastered stability, not freedom. You polish marble but ignore the foundation. You follow systems so well, you forget you could create them. You feel accomplished, but replaceable. Your tower looks tall, but it's unstable. Escape plan. Audit your architecture. Does it still serve your vision, or just your habits? Would it survive storms, change, or silence? Is it resilient, or just routine? The architect. The tower switcher. Few evolve to this stage. Architects don't just live in towers. They design the ecosystem around them. They know when to dream like artists, when to execute like admins, and when to transcend both. They design towers that breathe, structures that adapt, ideas that can survive drought, fire, and time. Architects don't chase perfection. They chase endurance. The unspoken truth. Everyone has a tower. Your tower could be your career, your relationship, your faith, your identity, your craft. But ask yourself, do you understand the ecosystem your tower stands in? A beautiful tower can still collapse if the soil underneath is borrowed. A strong tower can still become obsolete if it can't evolve with its environment. The mental blueprint. How to think structurally. Thinking is architecture. It's not random creativity. It's load-bearing cognition. Foundation, your beliefs. Structure, your logic. Design, your originality. Maintenance, your discipline. If one layer weakens, the whole system shakes. That's why true thinkers don't just create, they audit. The tower alignment. When your mind splits between skyscrapers, does the tower you operate in your mind every day align with the towers you serve in the real world? Are they even the same structure? Because most people don't live in one tower. They live in many. They manage their boss's tower from 9 to 5, their partner's tower after dinner, their family's tower on weekends, and their own, only before sleep. They climb up and down staircases all day, until their soul fractures, until they become an elevator without direction. Ask yourself, do your towers synchronize or conflict? Do they share the same foundation or compete for it? If your towers aren't aligned, you'll burn out managing contradictions instead of momentum. You'll spend a lifetime maintaining structures that were never designed to coexist. You can't inhabit 5 towers forever. You'll either merge them or get buried in their debris. A functional thinker doesn't juggle towers. He synchronizes them. He builds one living ecosystem where work, love, and self share one rhythm. That's how energy multiplies instead of leaks. That's how thought turns from survival into design. The cognitive district, building the metropolis of your mind. Every tower you build, your work, your art, your relationships, your beliefs, shouldn't stand alone. Because if each tower exists in isolation, you'll spend your life traveling between them, burning time, energy, and clarity, just to keep them connected. You'll become a commuter inside your own mind, stuck in congested traffic between unfinished lives. You need to make sure that all your towers eventually evolve into the same district. Just like cities that amalgamate, from scattered towns into a living metropolis. When your towers unite under one district, they share infrastructure, one power grid, one rhythm, one skyline. If they're distant, you don't abandon them. You build transit. You design terminals, trains, and bridges so each tower feeds the other. Your creativity should power your discipline. Your discipline should sustain your relationships. Your relationships should inspire your purpose. That's how a life system flows. When all towers work as one, instead of competing for attention. Because a disconnected mind creates congestion. But an integrated one creates momentum. And when your towers begin to connect, you start to feel like a civilization awakening. A silk road of the self. Thoughts trade across bridges. Ideas travel between towers. Energy moves freely through transit lines of meaning. That's when your mind stops being a workplace and becomes a metropolis. The chameleon paradox. When adaptation becomes servitude. If every tower forces you to change colors just to survive, to shrink, stretch, and blend until you vanish, you're not adapting. You're dissolving. Just like a chameleon, constantly wearing camouflage. They'll call you flexible. They'll say you're easy to work with. But what they really mean is, you've become convenient to their structure. Each time you bend, a piece of your original shape breaks. Each time you blend, your color fades. And one day, you'll mistake exhaustion for growth. You'll think you've ascended, but you've just become a harder working servant. Adaptability isn't evolution. Integration is. If survival demands constant shape-shifting, you're not evolving, you're eroding. The real evolution. From tenant to architect. You were born inside someone else's tower. Then you learn to maintain your own. But real transcendence begins when you design towers that last. That's what separates the reactive mind from the architect mind. One obeys gravity. The other studies it and builds around it. To think is to build. To focus is to fortify. To reflect is to renovate. And to evolve is to rise above your own tower and see the skyline. Because no mind truly expands until it sees its own tower from above and realizes there's still space in the sky. Your move. Are you living inside someone else's tower or building one that's truly yours? Will it stand through storms and droughts or collapse with the next trend? Because the future doesn't belong to those who think more, but to those who build thought that can stand.